Hello. No. I haven't gone that high today.
No.
Ah!
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and toasties.
Good God. Imagine I just came out on stage.
Hello. Hello, Wembley.
I can never work for the news. Good morning. Okay. Hello, welcome back to Tea and Toasties. I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina.
And I'm Rich. I'm the other one.
And welcome to episode 10.
10.
10.
I know. You got anything that rhymes with that?
Double digits.
Double digits.
10.
I'm feeling zen on 10.
Wow.
I had to go all the way to the end of the alphabet for
All
that one.
the way.
Quickly in my head.
We're big kids now.
Yeah. Look at us.
Very exciting. Milestone moment.
It is. Check it off.
Check it off.
Did you think you'd get to 10?
Yeah.
You did. All right.
Feels like we should be at 100 by now.
Can you imagine 1,000?
What? Who will we be by then?
I will be in an old people's home.
Oh.
I'd be...
Really? Is the mathing there?
Yeah, the math is mathing. I think it would be, if you're doing, like you said the other day, if we did one a week, that's 50 in a year, more or less. And that would work out math-wise 20 years of podding.
Wow.
I'd be in an old... You'd be coming on in.
Yep.
Celebrating our 1,000th. You ready?
Just sleeping away over there. Hey,
wake him up.
get up.
It'd be tea and some soft food for
tea
me.
Tea and Jello.
Jello.
Tea and porridge.
Yeah.
What is the difference between porridge and oatmeal?
So that's one for housekeeping.
Yeah, I've always wondered, is it the same thing?
Porridge and oatmeal.
Basically, is the same.
I think it's the same, right? Is it just depends where you're from?
I think it is different.
Yeah. I think the Scots will eat porridge.
I know Goldilocks does.
She does.
Right? Isn't that
she
her
eats
thing?
all of it.
Yeah.
All 3 bowls, right?
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of housekeeping, we've got some, I think, from last week, quickly.
Is there somebody there?
Yeah. Hello, come in. We're ready for you.
Come in. Housekeeping.
We had the...
What you got?
My mom was listening and texted me. And she said, by the way, a soft shell crab does have a soft shell.
Hence the name.
Well, obviously.
I guess. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I think but it's still a crab.
He's crab. Is he? So he's soft on the inside
shell,
and the outside.
The shell is still a shell.
It is just
it's
a
just softer than other crabs.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
He's of the crab world. He's the crustaceans. He's the most sensitive. You know, if you want some real empathetic advice, you go seek out the soft shell crab.
He's in tune with his emotion.
He is.
I think these are the soft shell crab is the one that's used in the spider roll sushi.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they just use they keep the shell on.
Yes.
Because it's
so soft and edible.
But it's still a shell.
It is.
So that's that. Soft shell crab shell is softer.
Yeah.
It's a shell.
Go.
You go.
No, you go.
Nope, you go.
It just, I'll go. It just reminded me, you speaking of shells and things, lobsters, they got a funny shell thing going on, don't they?
What's their funny shell thing?
I think they have this hard shell, but they grow and then they have to break out of this shell.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm getting this right or wrong. Not shed, not like a snake. They actually
or like
break
a hermit
it.
crab.
Oh, they do the same thing. They go looking for another
a new one.
home. Yeah. But the lobster has to, because he's all soft on the inside, he has to go under some rocks and while he's breaking loose of this shell.
Interesting.
Yeah, he has to protect himself under the rocks and then he grows a new shell, I think.
It's saying they're calling it molting.
Molting, okay.
They're calling it molting.
Huh.
Well, because, all those are just like the bugs of the sea, kind of. It says, a lobster absorbs water, which expands its body.
Oh,
so
that's clever.
Sucking up all this water.
Yeah, that's clever.
The water pressure pushes against the lobster's shell from the inside. Shell splits. Lobster extracts itself from the shell, emerging with a new soft shell.
Oh.
Soft shell lobster.
Which then hardens?
What? In the first 5 to 7 years of a lobster's life, it molts about 25 times.
Yeah, 25 different shells.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then by the time they turn 7, they only do it once a year.
Okay, that seems more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Wow. Says it. They're vulnerable to predators.
Yeah.
And they're in this.
In that moment, yeah.
It's stressful and requires a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Then it says older lobsters can get stuck in a too small of a shell and rot from the inside out.
What?
Ew.
That's too much.
Imagine that.
Too much lobster news.
Oof. All right.
They're pretty good in butter though, aren't they, those fellas?
I know they are. They are.
Mm.
Second thing was, or third, whatever the heck we're on, the Gallon Man.
Yes, Gallon-Man.
You didn't know about him.
I didn't, and you've educated me on the Gallon-Man.
Yeah, I guess it was an American thing.
Yeah, it must have been. Well, we're empirical over there. We have a different measuring
Oh, duh.
system.
Yeah, you don't have a gallon.
Yeah. We got the liter lad.
The liter lady. Lad makes more sense for you guys. Okay. But yeah, it's just a little robot man. We'll put this picture maybe in the Insta. Yeah, he's got like 4 cups for the feet, 2 pints, and then yeah, it's a good learning tool.
It is, yeah, you showed me that. I was like, okay, that is very good. That's a good visual as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's fun.
On that, so the pint.
Yeah.
How many fluid ounces in a pint? We were back and forth.
Oh, shit, yeah. I think it's 16 ounces in a pint.
Yeah, 16 fluid ounces. However, the British pint and the US pint are slightly different.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Oh, God. Why can't they just make
back
it
to that whole empirical thing?
all the same?
I know. Just makes it easier.
But then again, we are the problem. We're the only ones that use...
The US system.
Yeah.
Well, it's just to be slightly nuanced, I think.
So complicated.
Yeah. We won't,
Because y'all's are in tens and hundreds and thousands.
Thousands?
Thousands.
To be sure.
And ours is like, 12 inches and a foot, and then nothing is even.
I think our pint, the British pint, is, as I read, 16.6 fluid ounces.
Oh, so y'all are weird with that one.
We've got a little bit of a bit extra.
But ours is 16.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we get just a little bit. So you can have, you could do a full pint. I think when I came over here, I kind of thought, these pints are a little bit less. What's going on?
0.6 ounces is missing.
Yeah. I'm going to have to complain about this.
Yeah, who do I talk to?
That's why when you all go over there, you get ratted.
Ratted?
Yeah.
Oh, drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use that 0.6 in every pint.
Adds up.
Mm. So, housekeeping. Everything's all tidied up and
done.
So, today's ep, we've been dancing around this subject.
Yeah.
Since episode 1, right?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. So I think it's time. We did, and in last episode, we said this is the one. Episode 10 will be the biggie.
Yeah, we've definitely teased it quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, beyond.
We didn't want to go straight into it off the rip just to, I don't know, just the vibe of it is kind of,
yeah. But
also, yeah, just building to it, giving it enough backstory. It's kind of like the movie, you get attached to a character. Then they kill them off.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
So we're being killed off today.
Now that you've grown to like us.
Yeah. 9 episodes of getting to know these two characters, and now.
Mm-hmm. But now you care.
Now
you care about us.
Now with this backstory,
like,
it's going to make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
rip it off.
How do we even start?
Well,
backstory to the backstory.
Exactly. I was going to go there.
Okay.
You go.
I was just going to say, basically, and if you haven't heard from the previous episodes, a big event happened a few years ago for us as a company, as a biz.
Sure.
And that's what we're getting into, all the details. I guess we'll just go timeline based.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it, I guess.
Let's get into it. For this episode, I was contemplating bringing a 6-pack over. And just.
Oh, fuck, we should have.
I know. This deserves a few beers as we go.
Yeah.
And by the way, tears on your beers. By the way, this episode could turn into a 2-parter.
True. Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah. We didn't do much prep for this ep,
No.
just because
no research.
it's just recounting,
Yeah.
what has happened. So we don't know where it could go, how long it's going to be. I'm not sure, but yeah, it could be a two-parter.
Depends how we feel, where we're going with it.
Yeah.
How are you? I mean, how have you been feeling about it? Nervous or just ready to go?
No, I
Let's
feel
get this
nervous.
shit out.
No, it's kind of not fun. Kind of fun because it's not fucking happening anymore.
Right.
Right.
Well,
and also it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's kind of like juicy drama.
Yeah.
You know that like you get to tell your friends kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're actually spilling some tea today.
Finally.
Yeah. Tea will be spilt.
Let's go.
Go.
Get into it.
All right. Well, okay. Let's go here. So it's 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself back there.
Go back, guys. Already a very trying time.
You're there. So you've just seen through 2020.
Still wearing a mask, maybe.
Yeah,
some
you probably
places
are.
Here and there.
We're talking mid 2021. So yeah.
Mid?
Yeah, mid.
I don't know where you're going, so you go.
This is a back story, a little bit, because it makes sense. It's all going to, all the pieces of the puzzle. I know. More puzzle talk.
I finished my puzzle.
Well done.
Last night.
I know. I saw
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
All right. It needed celebrating. Yeah, so apparently you were up late last night puzzling and you finished it.
Very late. Yeah.
Okay.
It was addicting. 5 hours straight, basically.
Done.
Psychotic.
Dunzos.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so put yourself back, 2021, mid 2021. So what are we talking? How old are you at this point?
Great question. 4 years ago, how old am I? I was 24.
24.
I think I was 23. Hadn't quite turned 24.
At the time?
Because
Okay.
my birthday is end of the year.
Right. So you would have been with us a couple of years already?
According to my email, it was 2.5 years, what I had said in my email.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think I came in, end of 2019?
You did, yes.
No way.
You did.
I feel like I was there longer than just a few months before COVID started.
Fact
Don't
check.
you think? I was there for like a year at least before COVID.
You came on board towards the end of the year.
It might have been 2018.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about
I
that
think it's
either.
2019.
But, okay, you could be right. I could do a very, very quick fact check right now.
Hang on, because don't you remember? Yes. When COVID hit, you guys were down in the basement. We were upstairs in the office upstairs. This was when we lived over. Yeah, 2019. Okay.
I've got emails from 2019 JB confirming our interview.
Your interview.
Yeah, so October 3rd, 2019.
Okay. Time's weird.
It is weird.
You were going to give yourself another year there.
I was, because it doesn't feel like I was working there for just a few months, and then because COVID was right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, agreed.
Very strange.
That's insane.
Feels like I was there for a while at that point.
Before that, yeah.
Anyways, this is not the backstory we're getting into.
This is not COVID episode.
Or
However, it is a little bit because, well, you'll find out.
Right.
Okay, so you'd been with us, so you got, your feet under the table. You knew what you were doing.
Right.
Getting some confidence.
Yep, 2.5 years.
And we had an office in Hendersonville.
We did, downtown.
Downtown.
Our old bank office.
Yeah, that was a cool little office, that one.
Yeah.
I liked that office.
I did too. It was nice. My own little room. I mean, it was hideous.
Was that lovely green?
Like money.
For a bank.
Yeah, green carpet, yellow walls.
I didn't like the walls.
Fluorescent lighting that we never used.
Yeah,
we had lamps everywhere.
Yeah, no.
And then the back had the vault still.
An old vault.
Giant door.
Vault. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
cool.
still there.
Yeah, the door was still there. I've used it as storage for boxes.
Yeah, we didn't put our money
Very
in there.
valuable. Kind of.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Tied up in frames and things. So there was quite a bit of money back there.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're there.
We're there. If you remember, this is probably going to jog your memory a little bit.
Yeah.
We'd got to mid 2021 and Jonette and I just sold our house.
Yep.
Do you remember? Because we were planning on moving to England.
Yeah. I do remember that.
You remember that?
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah. So just a little bit more backstory there is that we decided to move back to England after being here, over 15 years, because Dad was struggling a little bit. Mm-hmm. He'd found out he'd got Parkinson's. He had been looking after my mum, who had dementia, Lewy body's dementia, and she'd been suffering with that for a number of years to that point. Dad had been looking after her in their house together, and it had been taking a toll. on Dad's health for sure.
And COVID had just happened. So you guys were far away. It was like extra
pressure on that. Mm-hmm. It was, a nightmare time. And mum had gone into a home where she could get some real treatment. I mean, Dad, amazing what he'd done, looked after mum for so long on his own, ably. But it was really starting to take a toll on his health. And then he found out he'd got Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. So, Jonette and I decided that we wanted to be there and try and help and look after that. That was the plan.
Yeah.
So
I was going to run the biz from here. Yeah. The American hub or whatever. Yeah. You guys were going to go there.
The UK branch was going to get set up.
Imagine if that had happened.
Different trajectory.
What a different life.
I know.
Crazy.
Can you? I mean, if you think, that was middle of 2021, June. Uh-huh. Our plan was to go to England. We then sold the house and we moved in a rental and we signed a 1-year lease. So we're giving ourselves 1 year to get our shit in order, basically. Yeah. To organise the trip because it's not easy. We collected all our stuff over that time. You remember that room in the office where we put all our stuff?
One room that was just stuff.
To the top.
Literally to the ceiling.
To the ceiling. It's amazing what you collect over that many. Oh, yeah. That many years.
Especially like a house.
Yes.
Going from a house to a small place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we really, really downsized into the smaller rental. Yeah. And we signed a 1-year lease and we're like, okay, this buys us some time. 1 year, we're going to sell a bunch of shit off and then maybe put some stuff into storage, who knows, and then establish what we're going to take with us to England. Mm-hmm. And move in with Dad. Actually, we were thinking of moving to Cornwall. And setting up the UK branch of the business.
Crazy.
Yeah, and we approached you and Keen, who was working with us at the time also, said, hey guys, so Jonette and I are heading out. Peace out.
Like, y'all good with that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I was like, but I imagine I was feeling like, what the hell? Holy shit.
I can only imagine.
Right?
I mean, you seemed well on board for it.
I guess I was. Like I said, I was way more bright-eyed, bushy-tailed back then. Because I feel like if you guys had said that to me today, I would be like, what? Hold on.
Are you saying you've got more cynical and crushed by life?
God, I can't imagine what I'll be like when I'm actually old.
Right, when you're 30.
Some wretched old woman.
What you going to
be? Some witch. But yeah, I just remember thinking, okay. Also, I think at that time we had just agreed that this was happening, but we didn't discuss fully the details yet because you guys had that year, and the plan was during that year time to plan it all out.
That's right. We just kind of floated the idea by you guys, and you both seemed well on board. It's probably like, yes, just leave, go, please.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Please.
We've got this. Yeah. We'll run the ship.
Right. To the ground. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll burn this house down.
What?
No, you didn't, did you?
What?
Burn the house down. Wasn't you.
No. Nope. So.
Yes.
Anyways. So that was the plan.
Yeah, it was the plan. Gave ourselves a year.
House, moving to England.
And, of course, it just didn't work out like that.
Nope.
No, we gave ourselves...
I mean, we're here.
Yeah. I don't think we'd be here.
Oh, God, no.
No, we wouldn't. Yeah. Which is another point to the point.
Right.
Is you never know how your life's... You can have all these plans in the world and you don't know where you're going to end up kind of thing. So
that's June.
June 2021. And it took a whole year for us to go through what we went through. And on the other side of it, June 2022 is when the story goes from, there's so many twists and turns to it, but it took a whole year for the story to have a kind of a conclusion, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Was it June 2022?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the...
Yeah, June 2022.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
I do believe it. It fucking felt that way.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
You know what? I'm glad we can laugh about it now.
Oh, yeah. I think I even said at the moment, like, this will be fine, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
I'm not saying there won't be tears, but I know there's going to be a lot of laughter because, that's the only way you can.
Right.
And it's been long enough.
Yes.
that we can look back.
Let's stop dancing around. So
Let's go in.
June, house is sold.
House is sold.
Getting ready to move.
We're renting.
We're grinding it out at the office downtown.
Yes. Yeah, things are going just fine. Actually, business is great.
Business is great.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, do you want to get into your mom? When did that happen? Just in the timeline of events. Just I think it's important to set the.
It is. Yeah, where to go next?
And where you were mentally.
Yeah. Right. Because it wasn't just this one huge event. As we'll find out as we go along on the timeline, that there was a number of events that had also heavy influences into what the mindset was doing at the time. Let's just say there were layers and layers of shit.
Yeah.
Layers of shit, like one big turd trifle, if you like.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Shit sandwich.
Well, that's like good, bad, good. This is just layers of shit.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a turdy trifle.
Nothing good at all.
No.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I think August of that year, 2021, so a few months passed.
So
we're
like 2
doing the
months.
things. Yeah.
Sold the house.
Yeah.
Then 2 months later.
Yeah. I get, back and forth on WhatsApp from the family that mum's condition, her dementia had really deteriorated. She was in the home, but she was in the care home.
Yeah.
And visits were restricted and things like that because of COVID, and they had to do all the protocols and make sure that, they're looking after the people in there. So visits from my family to mum were difficult. I used to Skype my mum weekly, and, I still love that, enjoy those. Yeah, I got a message from the family saying mum had deteriorated to the point where they were moving her to palliative care. So, and they encouraged me to come on over, basically, as soon as possible, and say my goodbyes, really.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. Quickly looked up flights, told you guys that I'm off to England and go see my mum and basically just, say goodbye to her.
Yeah.
So, that happened.
And that was in August?
End of August.
Yeah.
Head over there, say goodbye to mum, and obviously, come back and try and get on with things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we only had, a couple of months? Because it was, my birthday? Was it not?
Yeah. Well, there was, but a little bit before that, there was extra, like I was saying, this is a turd trifle. There was a couple more little things that happened just before.
Oh, God, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't see. This is interesting because we both, and along with, Johnette, of course, the three of us lived through these events. But it's kind of interesting that your experience is going to be, and I'm looking forward to hearing, like, the all these events through your eyes, through your perspective, and what your thoughts were at the time. Because we were living through the same event, but of course then there was other personal things that were going on at the same time. So Dad actually fell out of the bed and broke his neck. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Right around that time.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I think could have been September, October. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Apparently he was very, very lucky. I mean,
that sentence alone, broke your neck, is insane.
Yeah. Very lucky. The doctor said he was very lucky just to be alive. And so, he's dealing with mum and coming to terms with that. I mean, how the hell is that possible to come to terms with that shit? You don't.
And just like a month later.
Yeah. He broke his neck.
Yeah.
Then.
And you're here, like.
Yes.
Jesus.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
And luckily, I got my two brothers who still live there, and they're helping. Fair fucks those two. They've been amazing. They were amazing through that whole time. Mm-hmm. With mom and dad, and it made me feel it's tough when you're separated by that much distance.
Yeah.
That I had huge swaths of guilt.
Yeah.
I couldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just huge guilt. I still live with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not being present being able to help as much as I wanted to. So yeah, Dad broke his neck. Then he's got, this neck brace thing going on, and, he's getting looked after and whatnot. Then, just shortly after that, if you remember, Jonette and I start to feel a little bit ill.
Uh-huh.
Feeling very rough. Turns out, we got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The Delta, which was the real freaking harsh one.
Yeah.
So we're at home at that point, dealing with COVID and trying to work our way through that. And that takes us into, I get a text then saying Mum had passed.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's trying to deal with the COVID situation,
mm-hmm.
and then get a text, Mum's passed, and everything that brings on.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I was, crushed. Absolutely. Just crushed.
Mm-hmm. And when was that?
October the 11th.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, can't do much from here, texting back and forwards. Luckily, my brother's taking care of it, taking care of Dad, who's got the broken neck. And yeah, it was just bonkers.
Shitstorm.
Shit fucking storm.
Right.
Shit time. Shit storm. Now, a week later, of course, there's, I don't know if I think I told you this, about the whole, I was supposed to have a video conference with the funeral directors.
Uh-huh.
This is when I'd just gone for a COVID test. Jonette was loading me up with cough medicine.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
You told me this.
Crazy.
You were like...
delusional. Off my knockers, basically.
On drugs.
Yeah. I was seeing things. There was a time distortion thing going on.
Oh, my God.
And they would all arrange for us to have this video chat with the funeral director to discuss the arrangements for Mum's funeral and to pick out a coffin, a casket, and things like that. Now,
you were all like hyped up, right?
Yes.
And you're like, this one, and ooh,
yes,
and ooh, and
yes.
Yeah.
I was not, it wasn't.
Didn't read the room.
Didn't read the room at all. Yeah. I couldn't read the room. I was in a completely different world.
He was in a different room.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was out of it on this cough medicine. Jonette had gone out to perhaps get some more cough medicine. I don't know. But I was having this video chat and it was crazy. Uh-huh. They were flipping through this folder of like coffin designs and stuff like that.
Right.
And then they flipped over and they were like, what about this one? I was like, it's not even made of wood, it's rattan. It was like a laundry basket.
Stop. A wicker?
Yeah, a wicker basket.
A wicker
we
coffin?
can't. Yeah.
That's insane.
So I'm going into this whole thing about why you can't use a wicker basket.
Yeah.
It was, And then, because they pre-gamed the funeral director that, he's got COVID. So he might be a little bit off today, might be a bit down.
Right.
But I was kind of hyper. Yeah. But everyone was kind of worried and they were like, is this the COVID?
Is this a mental break?
Yeah.
Is he
What's
unwell?
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it probably was a mix of both.
It's probably everything.
Because I can also see, you're feeling that guilt not being there and no control. And like you're in this meeting now and you're like getting everything out now.
Yeah.
Like
it was crazy. They were like, Rich, I think you should go.
Get this guy out of here.
And we're going to text Jonette and see what's going on, make sure you're okay.
Dang.
Yeah. So they cut me loose.
Yeah.
Probably wise, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was then. But then because of COVID, Mum's funeral wasn't till a month later.
Right.
This is where we kind of get into where the business side of things.
It's crazy how it's almost a comedic level of insanity that is building. It's like a TV show, a movie, some kind of fucked up Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Just the weirdest, craziest things happening. Yeah, just piling. Yeah.
It's just tune in for next week's episode and then new shitty thing's going to happen.
Yeah.
It really was. And I'm surprised at that point I hadn't already lost my shit.
Oh, I know.
Lost my shit.
Lost your shit. I would have.
to that point.
Yeah.
And then perhaps we get to the straw
Yeah.
that definitely would have broken a lot of camels' backs.
The biz?
Yes.
The thing.
Yeah, the thing.
So
we're getting over COVID.
getting over COVID.
We're getting over COVID. Mum's funeral was on the horizon. Jonette and I are making arrangements to fly over there. And of course, we then had to square things away with getting COVID tests on arrival and all those arrangements because that was still going on.
Still going on.
You know, wearing
Flying with
masks,
COVID.
flying with masks, in the airport with masks, all
Yeah.
the COVID dealings. Yeah.
And I mean, just the whole mental, emotional side of it of like, you're in the first month of grief
Tell me about it. Yeah.
while also still dealing with all this other stuff. But the first month of grief,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
drum roll, please.
I know. And then few days, actually, no, it was the day before, the very day before we were supposed to fly to go to Mum's funeral. It was it your birthday?
Literally, I think it was on my birthday. I'm pretty sure it was like the day before you got the email, or it was on, because I was off. I was off on my birthday and I came in the next day and you were like, hey guys. I think you had texted.
That's right.
Maybe you texted or slacked
Yeah. Because we were doing
beforehand,
Slack, right?
and you were like, we've got to talk about something this morning.
Yes.
And, you know, that's always like what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I used to come in every Monday at the office, remember?
And have our meeting.
We did a Monday morning meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd go through what we're going to do for the rest of the week, and things like that.
Yeah.
Plan. The what's it called? Vision and action board.
Yes. Oh my God. The vision and action board. I forgot about that. You love that thing. But so you had either messaged, I don't remember, or when you got there said, hey, we got to talk.
Yeah. But you know the very first thing I did?
What?
Do you remember? See, this is interesting.
Oh, yes, I do remember this.
What'd I do?
You erased the entire vision and action board. And I could tell Rich comes in, there's an energy. I can't tell. You know, when someone says we have to talk, you immediately are like, you're breaking up with me. You know, it's always bad news, right?
Right.
And I didn't feel there was bad news necessarily, but I was like, there is an energy. I can't tell what it is. I was partly thinking, okay, something major happened, or he had this big breakthrough, and now like it's enough to erase the vision and action board, which was a big deal.
And the vision and action board, by the way, it wasn't just for the next few months.
It was like 5 years.
It was a 5 year. We had 1 year, 3 year, 5 years.
Yeah. All these plans.
All these plans.
And you just erased all of it. And I was like, okay, what's happening? And I wish I could remember your exact words, because I think you kind of did a sandwich almost, I think. You had like
not a trifle.
This is what's happening, or like a good thing or something. And then you were like, and then you were like, we got an email yesterday.
Yes, just
And
yesterday.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. And I think I said, have you looked online yet? Have
That's
you
right.
checked the Etsy shop?
Have you checked Etsy? And I was like, no, I don't think, because we had just gotten in.
Yeah. The day before, I was in the office at home, just home office, and this came through. Well, in fact, I'd logged into Etsy and I couldn't go any further. I couldn't see anything, but there was this big red line with a notification saying something like your shop is shut.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, what's that all about?
Right.
And Jonette, I called her in and I said, I got something to tell you. And she said, should I be sitting down? And I said, no.
No.
I don't think so. In hindsight,
Should be digging a 6-foot hole in the backyard. Maybe 2 of them.
Exactly, yeah. So in hindsight, yes, she should have been laying down.
Hooked up to a machine, some IV.
Exactly.
But yeah, so big red thing, shop closed. And basically, account has been suspended.
Yes.
Your Etsy shop has been suspended. Look into it further, and it says copyright infringement. No chance of what was it called? What did they say?
Reinstating or something like that.
No.
Yeah. Your Etsy activities have just been, your account privileges have been denied or something along those lines.
Suspended, and literally the word the sentence lived in my brain for the next year of no opportunity for getting it back, basically.
Yeah. So turns out.
Yeah. Well, Rich tells us this, and I'm just like gagged. I'm sitting there like, I just kept saying like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's like when someone dies and you're just like, you can't believe it. And you're just asking what, why, how, when, like nothing's making sense.
The questions. Yeah. You're stunned.
I was just like, how? What do you mean? What does that mean? I immediately was like, no way, it's not ever coming back. That can't be possible. And you kind of were just immediately like, yep, it's done. It's gone. And we got to move forward with our new vision action board. Here's what we're going to do next. And I was like, I'm not ready. I was in denial the whole time. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not letting this just die.
Yeah.
Basically what had happened was we had
the reason of
the nitty gritty of it.
The nits and the grits
is like, okay, we had 3 shops on Etsy, all under the same umbrella. The EIN businessy kind of thing. So it was all under the same business number.
3 Etsy shops, different products,
different title, different names, everything.
Yeah.
Different products.
Yeah.
One of them being Alphabet Art Photos.
The flagship,
the one that we talk about. The second one being Guest Book Weddings.
Yes.
Which is just wedding guest books, essentially on canvas mostly, or only. The third one, what do we even name it?
It was called...
One that cannot be named, ironically.
Oh, look at you.
Named Voldemort, essentially.
Let's call it Voldemort.
Yeah.
Dang.
Fucking little Easter egg there.
Yeah.
So that shop, we were just printing like any kind of quote that you wanted, any little thing. One of the items on there was a Harry Potter related item. And your niece had drawn an image, a cartoon drawing of one of the characters, and you were using it on there for any kind of, if you wanted a Harry Potter quote, here it is, and we'll put this little cute image that had been drawn by your niece on there and print it.
Yeah, it was her. I think she was between jobs or didn't have a job at the time. And I was thinking this would be a great way for her to make a little bit of extra money. So I asked her, she's very artistic. And I said, can you give me your interpretations of some of these well-known characters from Hogwarts?
Yeah. So not their art, technically, their likeness. Sure.
Likeness.
And those were just doing their thing. And mind you, this third shop was doing barely anything. It was there,
hardly
like,
anything.
Making a couple sales here
Baby
and
Yoda
there.
did a little bit, didn't he?
Baby Yoda, doing a couple sales here and there. So we weren't going into that shop much. We had our hands full with Abe's and Jeeves.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And
that's probably a key point to make, that we weren't going in there.
We weren't checking it much.
No, we weren't checking it.
So unbeknownst to us, in the background this whole time, a couple of emails have been sent. A couple of warnings have been sent saying, hey, you can't sell this. Hey, the big guys, they're not happy that you're selling their characters and stuff.
Trademark infringement or intellectual property infringement, all of those sort of things.
And we weren't going in there. So we're missing these things until the one day, the big one, they had enough.
Yes.
And they came in and said, we're
shutting you down.
The shop is suspended. But not just that one shop. Since the other 3, they're all connected, they all got suspended.
Yes.
So we didn't even see that email. We didn't know about it till that big red bar was across our Etsy shop. You went investigating, found those emails in your personal email spam folder, which that's the moral of the story. We had said this a few episodes ago. I said, check your spam folder. That's why.
Check your freaking spam folder.
Yeah.
See, my personal email, the email that was linked to that particular Voldemort shop was my Hotmail, which is Hotmail is something I set up when email first came out.
Yeah.
And I hardly use it. I just
you just need an email account attached to it.
Yeah. A shop
to
a new email
different
account.
email.
Yeah. And Hotmail, and they still do, is they have a separate spam junk folder. So they have the inbox, and then all the crap goes to spam folder. So for some reason, even though these warnings were coming in from Etsy, where we were receiving emails about notifications of a sale,
Other things, yeah.
conversations from customers, everything Etsy was going through to inbox.
Yeah.
Except
Except
these warnings,
Yeah.
these 3 or 4 warnings that had gone on for, I think it was one every week for 4 or 5 weeks leading up to the shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, who looks?
Especially at that time, with all the other shit that you had going
Tell
on.
me about
the
it.
last thing on your mind is looking at that email spam folder.
Yeah.
Or even that Etsy shop alone.
Tell me about it. Oh, let me just go check my spam folder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who does that?
Who does that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, with all the things I just said, like you can imagine, I was like, absolutely not. This is crazy. They can't just do this. You know, like I understand the copyright infringement, all that stuff.
Oh, fair. Yeah, fair point. Big
delete that shop, burn it to the ground. I don't care.
Yes.
But give us back Abe's and Jeeves. Like it's just Abe at that point. Right. Like, please. It was craziness.
Because, I mean, you're saying that because the copyright infringement was taking place on a shop of, you know, a separate shop.
Yeah.
And that's where we had stepped over the mark and received, if we'd have seen all these warnings coming through saying the big guys aren't happy, you've got to remove this listing. In fact, Etsy removed those listings themselves. And it's just, and then they warned us and said, if you keep doing this, then we're going to have to, you know, take further measures.
And it wasn't even, it was just the fact that we had the name in the title of the listing.
Wasn't even the picture.
No.
Wasn't even my niece's like interpretation. That's fine, apparently. You can do that.
It's just the title saying Harry Potter or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the titles and tags, in the title of the listing, I put Harry Potter.
Yeah. Which is crazy because it wasn't even Etsy. It was Warner Brothers was coming after us, which is insane to think.
Yeah. So Warner Brothers had got in touch with Etsy and said, these little guys here are, you know, it's copyright infringement.
Which is insane. Like, piss right off. That shop had, like, what?
Dude, I said, look, you know, hands up, apologize. I apologize.
Yeah.
You know, because we were scrambling.
Oh, my God.
We went into, you know, big time, what can we do mode.
It was literally the stages of grief with this, rage, denial.
Oh, yeah, every single stage.
Bartering. My emails that I was sending were insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on top, I was already dealing with grief.
Oh, my God.
And so I come into the office, do the vision and action. It's very changed. And said, right, we're obviously going away for a few days for Mum's funeral. Can you guys get into this?
Yeah.
Yeah. The shop's gone.
Gone.
I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But for just the next few days, can you do this?
Yeah.
And I gave you some plans, some ideas, and brainstormed with you guys, and we came up with something to keep you perhaps investigating the Etsy thing.
I think so. And what's even worse is like I would just sit there and look at that computer screen because you could see the shop, but it had the red bar and it was just like suspended, and you couldn't. That's as far as you could go. You couldn't look at the messages. We couldn't.
Nothing.
Like one day, business is just working. We have stuff to ship, whatever, and then it was just like boom,
over,
done. The next day, like no ifs, ands, buts.
The time of year.
Oh my God, it was right before Christmas.
Right before Christmas.
Actually, technically, like right when it's ramping up.
Yeah.
Like Black Friday was the next week.
Which is, you know, and that year would have been insane. We were on course for our best year ever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. All of a sudden,
God.
everything went dark for us.
I still can't believe this is a real thing that happened. I'm feeling I'm back there.
No.
I'm back. But yeah, because I mean, suddenly, just one day, no money, no nothing. Scary big business legal words, you know, are being used and out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, you were like, well, they said it can't come back, so let's move on. Let's see. We need to do something. Yeah, we needed to shift, to try and come up with some other ways to get some money through the door. Before we got into that and brainstormed that, I think we all got together and just tried to explore, you know, is this really over?
Is there anything that we can do with Etsy? How do we reach out to them? I think I asked you, I said, while I'm away, can you see if you can actually get hold of someone through your own personal account, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your Etsy personal.
Or I think, I was like, I'm going to reach out personally because
that's right. You offered to do that.
If they even see the email attached to any of the accounts, then they'll write it off immediately, or it probably goes into some.
That's what was happening.
Yeah. They weren't.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
No,
they
it was
weren't
over.
hearing anything. Yeah, it was over.
Our business relationship
was over.
I think
you guys were trying, and it was just like, nope.
I couldn't get hold of anyone because previously to that, do you remember that Etsy had this this chat feature where, and we were given some kind of because of our sales and things like that, and our standing as a shop that had been on there for so long.
Yeah, we had like a special privilege.
Yes,
to just like chat.
If whenever we wanted to chat to an Etsy expert, we could.
Yeah.
Whenever about any little problem. Well, that had been rescinded. That had gone.
That away.
Yeah. Could we get hold of anybody? No.
I think and you guys were going away. And then I think even when you came back, it was just kind of like this defeated vibe. You had reached out, you had done all the things. You were feeling all different kind of feels, and then also feeling guilty for not looking at the spam, all these feelings. And then JB, she was checked out.
Yeah.
She's like, nope.
Yeah.
She couldn't deal.
No.
Rightfully so. So then it was just like,
yeah,
all this. And then I was sitting there, obviously like feeling all kinds of different things for you guys, for me. And I'm thinking, well, hold on. I don't want to get another job. Wait, I wasn't prepared for this. What is going on? And so, I'm reaching out. Stuff's not happening. I'm jumping through all these different hoops, reaching out to various different Etsy places and Googling. And I wrote this big email out with all the details. It's multiple different renditions of this email with different taglines, different catchy headlines.
This is way before ChatGPT.
Yeah. And someone finally got back to me. This was December, right before Christmas, like 5 days before. And she was like, I'll pass this along. Thanks for sharing your story. Like, this is going to the higher ups immediately. Please be patient.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, guys, hold on. This could be something.
A little. This
is promising.
Crumb of hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear anything for a month.
Yeah.
And a month later I said, hey, any updates? And she never got back.
No.
So then it
felt kind of final.
Oh God. Yeah. It felt final.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're in the office doing, I don't even know what, the most, everything, anything.
Yeah. We were, like you said before, when we've been teasing to this episode, we were actually running around like headless chickens.
Yes. We had to let our guy go.
Yeah.
Framing, shipping person.
Well, Jonette and I had to think about this. Like you say, Jonette was in a very dark place. She was taking it, it was a huge trauma for Jonette. And she just had to deal with it in her way.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess I had so much guilt that I didn't check my fucking spam folder for starters. And, I felt responsible, heavily responsible. And for me, that meant I've got to fix it.
Right. Responsible for fixing it too.
Yeah. I've got to find the solution here. I'm going to get this back. And, I was thinking of you and Keen also, and I've got responsibilities here.
Yeah.
I've got 2 extra people that rely on this. This is their job. This is their source of income. So I was in proper, let's fix this mode. Or let's find, if we can't get the Etsy back, we'll put that on the back burner and try, not give up. But it was looking pretty final.
Yeah.
But what else can we get into to generate some money through the door again?
Yeah, you were in your what you do best mode of like, okay, shifting, pivoting, new ideas, new this, new that, throwing shit at the wall.
Exactly.
And so at this point, it's just me and you in the office every day. Before I was going in every day and you were coming in once.
Mondays.
Yeah, just to do a little chat. And then it was every day, me and you in that office. And so at this point we're starting from scratch, basically.
Ground zero.
Yeah. We have no
business
Etsy.
Wise, yeah.
Okay. Day 1 of our business.
Yeah.
Opening our small business today.
I know. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Cause we had no All of our eggs were in the Etsy basket. Like we had nothing.
Cautionary tale there, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had like a Shopify. Did we even, or did we make it during that time?
We may have made it. No, I don't know. I feel like that's been around for a while.
It was around,
but it wasn't performing.
We got someone in to design it and make it look better at that time.
Oh, we did. Sure. We reached out.
Yeah.
So
we had the Shopify.
Yeah.
And then just like, okay, how do we market this? We're on Instagram. We're marketing like crazy. We're doing Instagram videos and posts. We were doing a post like every single day. We had that calendar of like Monday was this kind of post, Tuesday was this kind of post, Wednesday was this kind of post. It was all we were doing 24/7.
Yeah.
And then we were thinking like, okay, how do we reach out to our Etsy customers? Remember that? We were thinking like, we need them.
To let them know.
They don't even know we're gone.
As far as they're concerned, I don't know. They're like, I want to go get another one of those alphabet art photos things.
Yeah.
Our regular customers over the last 10, 12, whatever years, I don't know what it looked like on their end.
I am so curious.
You know, once they'd like gone in and got, where's the shop gone? What's happened to those guys?
Yeah.
So, you know,
our competitors
I'm sure.
had a good few months there, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, we were just bouncing around, trying to come up with anything that we could think of that could stick. We were in like small business triage mode. Actually, I don't even think we were that smart in identifying the priorities. Where should we focus? I don't think...
we had no
idea about that.
And we were just like, grasping at anything
and
everything.
That was more like it.
Because we were like, we need to make a sale yesterday.
Yes.
You know, there was no money coming. There was no sales happening because nobody knew we existed anymore.
Yeah. We couldn't afford... We had to let Keen go. The business had to let Keen go. That was rough as anything. First time I've had to do that.
Yeah.
To have that talk with somebody. Mm-hmm. Jonette was like, I've got to step away from the business. I cannot handle this.
Yeah.
She seeked therapy and took some time for herself and did some very nice watercolors, by the way.
Right. Yeah. The watercolors.
She did painting. So she needed her release and a new direction. So that was happening. Also, we decided, okay, I think Sabrina can help.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, so we said, let's keep saved. Sabrina around. And Jonette and I just decided to suspend our pay.
Yeah.
We weren't, the business was not earning any money. So we said, right, no income for us. Sabrina stays and she keeps, obviously getting paid for it.
I feel honored. Thank God.
But I know I couldn't have done that on my own.
Oh God, no.
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 I would have lost my shit.
Yes. And the whole time we're just running around panicking and you're very like thinking ahead and all the new ideas. And I am too, but I have like a little sneaky suspicion in the back of my brain still. I have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of like, you were like, it's done, it's over, there's no chance of getting back the shop. And I couldn't let that die. I still was just like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way. And you're like, we've tried everything. You tried everything. And I remember you said like a couple of weeks into this or months into this, you said, okay, I'm giving it 6 months.
Yes.
You put it
right. Yeah.
a death date on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, if, it doesn't work in 6 months, like we got to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
That was
so now we have a deadline. Yeah. I mean, Jonette and I were dipping into our savings to keep the business going. And we figured that 6 months, half a year was a decent amount of time to see if you and I could breathe some life into this business again.
Was this the time when we moved out of the office?
I think we'd signed up for a year, right? So we stayed. Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember when that was.
Yeah.
All that was happening.
Yeah. So we were paying rent on the office. There's outgoings going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We had to pay rent on the office, and we weren't selling anything.
No, and we had our. It was honestly, obviously looking back now, we can say whatever, but it was such a funny time of the things that we were doing, the things we learned during that time. Like we've never done that much social media stuff.
We always avoided it, didn't need it, right?
In our lives. No. It was wild. little tactics we were doing. And then the people we met with, we had like our website person, the Shopify girl. But then we had, I don't know if you remember, the woman we met, the social woman, to help with our Instagram.
Okay, yeah. We saw social media as perhaps a way to...
Yeah. Because like how else would people find us?
Exactly.
An online shop, you know.
Because we had the Shopify shop.
Yeah.
We had now we thought, okay, now we don't have the Etsy shop. We still have our products. We're selling them on different platforms in which we have to now get eyeballs into those shops.
And we also learned at this time that, Etsy is basically the reason we're as successful as we are. Because you just go on Etsy and they're spending all the money on the back end for their own marketing.
Yes. You know, we had a certain little bit of savings that we could put into social media and marketing. It was very much, we were cutting our teeth in a sense of learning on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, neither one of us were marketers.
No.
You know, hadn't got any experience in that. We relied way too heavily on Etsy. All our eggs in that one Etsy basket. So lesson learned there for sure. Diversify.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
You never know.
Yeah, I just remember doing all that stuff and being like on board. I was there like business partner vibes. And then also I was like, my buddy Rich is going through it. I was like, okay, I just need to like show up. I was like, I just got to show up for Rich. Like that was my job is how it felt back then. Because there was no...
Yeah.
The business was...
It wasn't
there.
Yeah,
it didn't exist.
Wasn't. Yeah, the dynamic had shifted away from the traditional. You know, this is the business, and I come in once a week and do a monthly weekly meet with you and Keen, and we form the weekly plan, and then I check in on Slack and stuff like that.
All my daily duties, my job, was gone.
Exactly. Just or your daily, what you were used to.
Yeah, like the job I signed up for.
The job you signed up for. And
exist.
that you could have done standing on your head basically because you'd got your system down. You'd worked out your own system.
Yeah.
And you like to know what you're doing.
Yes.
That's how your brain works.
Yes.
And for this chaos,
I hated it.
To come into your life too?
Yeah, it was like, I just remember sometimes getting just so, well, not even sometimes, there was an overwhelming loom of just dread that whole time that you were just like, ignore, keep chugging. But it was just always there because I was like, I can't fucking do this forever. It's like, this blows.
Yeah. Was it, how badly was it getting you down at the time?
Oh, it was like, in the beginning, it was like, ignore entirely and let's just heads down and
denial.
Just chug along.
Right.
Denial, yeah. And then as it just kept getting more and more, and we just, we were spending so much time and effort on things that just weren't working. They weren't even producing a single sale.
No payoff. Yeah.
We were just, that was bogging us down even more on top of everything else. So towards the end, I was just kind of like, I was checking out for sure. I was just thinking like every single day, I was like, oh, fuck, this again. Like, just, it was like struck on an island with the flare. Flare had ran out. I just screaming for help, drawing in the sand to help, and everyone just keeps flying past us. Like that's literally how it felt.
Yeah, it seemed very. We were up against it. We were trying, just trying our asses off. Like, will this work? Will that work? Mm-hmm. It really was ground zero business time.
Yeah. And that's why I never gave up on that, like getting the Etsy back.
We needed Etsy back.
So I wrote this email, this letter, got some traction, and then I remember telling you guys, and I remember you had said a while ago, the last thing that we could try is
to
lawyering up.
Yeah.
But we probably won't. It costs this much money. It's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
And I remember that in the back of my head. And after we got that one response that seemed promising-ish, I was like, I think
it's time for the lawyer.
You need to do the lawyer thing.
And we reached out to our buddy, Lauren, who's, a lawyer, and asked for a recommendation in that area. Mm-hmm. And we met with him. We met over at Bold Rock. Yeah. And just explained it all. I don't think Jonette and I had really, we just kept in very insular. We were dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
Apart from all the other shit, the trifle, the turd trifle that we were led up to this event.
And it was kind of like you guys just pushed it down and moved on along. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Don't push it too far. Bring it back.
Deal with it.
I was like, it's possible.
Yeah, I know. I deferred all my grief.
Yeah.
I had to just to basically keep going.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
And I was like, someone needs to keep this like chance for it to come back alive. And I was like, I'm not going to forget it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Yeah. We needed the shop back. So we did go down the path of the lawyer. Mm-hmm. But as anyone might know, that when you do go down that legal path, it takes time.
Yeah. I had the overwhelming sense, and I think you guys did too, that just no one was listening to us. Etsy wasn't even, they weren't reading the emails, or they weren't taking it seriously. They were forgetting about us.
Yeah.
Because, what we did was, we understand it was wrong.
Yeah.
But the nitty gritty of it was like, no, like, come on. Like, if you were sitting down talking to someone, they would explain. They would agree
for sure
that the punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Exactly. Good phrase.
So we were just like, we just need, if we can get a letter on someone's desk.
Yes.
Someone needs to see this. Then, like, surely that will
someone who's reasonable, someone who maybe has a little heart, someone who's having a good day.
A real person.
Yeah, a real person. I remember sending some emails and they got bounced back immediately from my, obviously, that Hotmail account. And I was basically saying, look, I'm so sorry. It was totally my fault. And I was explaining the business and I said, we've got employees. I said, my wife's health is in bad shape. I said, whatever money, we'll pay back the money that we might have made from these one or two items.
Bartering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was minimal. I calculated it and it wasn't even, I don't know, maybe a few $100. But I guess that the monetary side wasn't the point. It was just the fact that we had crossed the line.
Yeah.
But those emails did not land on someone's desk.
Right.
They did not get in front of someone who could help.
Yeah. They just kept, I was like, someone has to see it. I believe they will have a heart.
Yeah.
And then if not, at least we tried everything. That's also what I was thinking.
Yes.
It was like, I cannot let this business die fully knowing that we didn't try absolutely everything.
Yeah. And I think the three of us were, I mean, I was looking for fixes other ways. I was like, okay, I've got to fix this in another way. But Sabrina and Jonette were very much persistent. Let's not let the Etsy shop totally go until we finally know. Like we've explored the lawyer option.
Yeah.
And they've come back and said, no, sorry guys, game over.
Just the amount of time I had been there at that time, which was only 2.5 years, it felt I had already put too much into it. You guys had already put, like, it had come so far.
Yeah.
And it was so successful already.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was just like, there's no way you can just go away. I don't know. I was still in such denial. I never got out of the denial part of it. So
you were still in that first.
Which I think, I guess, is what saved us in the end, you know? We didn't give up.
Didn't give up, which is a valuable lesson, you know, even when it seems hopeless, the situation seems hopeless and there's no way out. Don't give up. Zoom out again. Zoom the F out, as you said in the last episode. And try and go big picture, widescreen on the whole thing. Dig deep, you know, find that inner strength, which is tough. Yeah. So tough.
Yeah.
Going back to something you said previously, you know, I want to thank you basically for being such a, and I think I told you several times at the time, but just for being such a support for us and particularly for me in the office at that time. Just basically showing up, being there, basically just being there. And I don't know if you realized how much at the time it meant to me, but just the fact that you were there and willing, like, let's not give up. You were very supportive and encouraging. And I think that's pretty, you know, that trauma bonding experience. It really was probably it took our friendship in.
That was the shift.
It really
for
was.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because we spent so much time
Right.
Just that in general. Oh my God, every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 hours or whatever in the office, and just
brainstorming and then actioning. It was that we were very much the small business ninjas. Just let's, we were in the trenches and just coming up with things and like, let's try this, let's try that. Do you remember there was a few things we were trying the videos?
Yes. See, I look at those memories fondly. Those were
fondly.
fun.
Okay.
Those were fun.
Okay.
Like now I can look back. Even in the moment, we were having fun.
Exactly.
It wasn't just doom and gloom the whole time, But I do look back at those. Those were the fun times of it. Because, we would spend a whole day sometimes just working on some
creating
video.
things,
Yeah. And that was fun. We would set up the lights and set up some kind of way to get the camera. And we did that one video of all the stuff on the ground.
Yes.
That you ended up hating.
Yeah, I didn't like it in the end.
But I mean, we were like running around the office getting supplies and all these things. And we had I just remember caring so much about every single holiday that was happening because we were like, we've got to grasp on to this. And
Valentine's is coming up. Father's Day. Mother's Day. Hey, what can we do?
And at this time we had the office that was an office and we had a window front.
Yeah.
A storefront, essentially.
Yes.
And so we were like decorating the storefront, changing out the things. We had like little lights and like hearts for Valentine's Day, all these kind of different things. Yeah. And then we were like, fuck it, let's open to the public. And we had a sign outside, like, come in.
Yeah.
And no one came in. A couple people were like, what's going on? Where am I?
Well, they were lost.
Yeah.
They were trying to get to the restaurant next door.
We've never, ever thought to do it, I guess besides early days at the shows, you and JB, but selling in real life to people. But we were like, open the door.
Yes.
Anyone's welcome.
Yeah. Walk-ins welcome.
Because we were like, we have the stuff here.
Yeah.
We can make it right here.
Well, we did we had a little display of the frames and we had signs in the window and QR codes, And
we had the street sign outside.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
with the arrow pointing in.
Come on
Get in here.
At that point, we would have just any sale. Literally.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Nothing.
We were not generating money.
No.
We learned a hell of a lot, though.
We did. So much.
That neither of us were comfortable with the socials.
Yeah.
Neither of us knew about the marketing. Taking videos and editing them and just content creation.
Voiceovers,
creating little Alfie dude who we'll get to in another episode most likely. But just all these creative juices were just flowing and our brains were buzzing. It was just whatever. Let's create.
Constant. And we learned, what didn't work, what doesn't work, so we don't have to like waste time now.
I mean, would you say there's things we learned from all that, from the trial and error tactics that we had going on then, and that we can now translate and apply it to now?
I think so.
What did we gain from that?
So I had to actually sit down and really think.
Yeah.
If you think about it, when we, surprise, spoiler alert, we got the business back. When we got the business back, we kind of just said, okay, threw everything else out the window. It was like you broke up with a toxic ex and you're burning all the photographs and getting rid of the shoebox of the memories, you're like, I don't need that anymore.
Yes.
And we just, dumped it away and went back to the Etsy and just went full steam ahead on that.
And like you say, let's go there. So we worked through 2022 and like you said previously that we'd given ourselves like that 6 months.
Yeah.
And we worked through the holidays.
Yep.
There would have been Valentine's and Mother's Day and Easter. And I think we got through also up to Father's Day.
Yeah, it was June.
Because you remember...
It was like the 6 month mark.
yeah. We were getting to that point and nothing had stuck. Everything we tried, nothing had really taken off.
Yeah.
We'd gained a lot of experience or maybe on how not to do things. I don't know. But do you remember for the Father's Day, we wanted to do a video and that little side alley to the side
the
of
brick.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and remember that video we did with the throwing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, do I.
Crazy,
and that was like the jump off point of like, okay, well, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Still.
Everything we're trying.
It's time for the big guns, the lawyer thing. So we did the lawyers.
The lawyer process was ongoing at that point.
That's right.
Yeah. And we'd not really, no response. This shit takes months. Our lawyer buddy was like, you got to just be patient. And then the firm that we had worked with, the girl lawyer, she'd left the company. And so we had to get in touch with another company. It was kind of like, okay, this means we've now got to go with another company and pay them to carry the baton over the line.
Right. Yeah.
The first company had done the heavy lifting and still no real response as such, no encouragement. And then we went with the ones out of Charlotte, and I think Jonette spoke to them, and he seemed like, okay, well, let's see this through.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the middle of 2022.
Yeah.
Was it June?
It was
Actually, June.
The email is June 24th.
Okay. So here's what happened. So this would have been pretty much, 1 year from when JB and I sold the house. So a year had passed.
Yep.
From the beginning of the story.
That's the beginning of the story.
A whole year.
Yeah.
Jonette she'd gone with some buddies to a local brewery and they were having an evening out. We'd received a little bit of encouragement from the lawyer. He seemed to imply that Warner Brothers were considering our case.
Yeah.
The lawyers had reached out to them directly, and they had basically put across our story.
Yes.
Explained everything, said that we were just so mortified and apologetic and all the things.
Right.
And please listen and please hear us. Anyway, so they contacted the lawyers back. The lawyer received a letter saying that Warner were now in communication with Etsy, and Warner Brothers had basically forgiven all, and it was now down to Etsy. Do you remember that?
Right.
Okay.
God, yeah.
Yeah, so we got through the Warner Brothers bit, but it was then down to Etsy to make the last final call whether they wanted us back or not.
Yep. I remember thinking, instead of just feeling 100% like, woohoo, that's such a great sign, I was like, oh, it was almost worse because it was like, if we've come this far,
I know.
Just for then Etsy just cause to be like, nah, that would have felt worse.
Yeah. But the lawyer guy was like, well, he said, I'm hopeful because as soon as Etsy, it boils down to money, as soon as Etsy see what you were generating for them, right, what they are actually missing out on too.
Yeah, I think we had said that in some of our messages too. Like, hey guys, are you aware?
Yeah. I mean, Etsy's a hugely wonderful place for us, and we've built a living off of it, and a successful business out of it. Yeah. And we've soon found that once you take that away, it's crushing times.
We're nothing without you, Etsy.
Exactly. So they had the final shout. Yep. And I received, Jonette was out. She was down the brewery. And I think
I was out.
You was out. Just backing up a little bit, I'm sorry, before we get there.
Yeah.
I think in that early part of 2022, was that also when you needed some time off?
I think so.
Yes.
Because I remember it was just
around March.
Me and you. And I was like, surely Rich will be fine with this.
He'll be all right for a little bit.
Right. So, I needed a month off. That was that time.
Now, was it because things had just got too much?
It probably was. Everything was piling. I had stuff in my normal life piling, and then that was piling.
You just needed a mental break, right?
It was just distractions and pushing stuff away, and then I just couldn't deal anymore. Yeah. I needed literally a mental break.
Right.
Break for a whole month.
Yeah. I think we said whatever you need.
Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like not a win-win, but I was like, I wasn't getting paid for that month. It was like, I'm just gonna, it's like I'm taking a month vacation.
On salary then, right?
Yeah. It was like no money going out to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we have
it's no money coming in. So
I was like, you just keep chugging along. Yeah. And I'm just going to step away for a month.
Yeah. So I guess, I was going into the office and doing the things, and I thought it was. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted
you're right.
to be sure. So back to Jonette was at the brewery. We can stitch that all together. Yeah. You were off. Yeah. That day. Mm. You were out.
It was a weekend, wasn't it?
Nah, it was like a Friday.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was late at night.
Yeah, it was.
It was late at night.
It was. Yeah, what it was. I was at the computer at home. I think I got a little bit of encouragement about I might be seeing an email at some point. I happened to check my email. It wasn't in spam. Yeah. The good email came to the inbox.
We were checking the emails a lot during this time.
Yeah. Always check your spam. And this email came through.
Yeah.
And it was very short and sweet.
Yep. I'll read the first line.
Oh, you got it.
This is the line. This is the thing.
Okay, so this
burned
is
into our heads. We received your request for reinstatement and have determined that your shop qualifies for reinstatement. We have restored your selling privileges. And then it goes on to like, we take this very seriously. And we were like,
yeah,
just ignore that. We have restored your selling privileges.
Yes, that was the key.
That was it.
Key phrase.
So when you got that email.
I read it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
And.
Did you go to Etsy?
Did I go? I think, yes. I think I went straight into Etsy and the shop, ta-da, was back.
Oh.
It was, dude.
Did you cry?
I was alone. I would have
doing backflips.
I don't know what the fuck I did. I was probably just, everything.
Panic, silence.
Everything just released.
Yeah, I bet.
All the...
Your muscles relax. Your jaw relax.
Yeah, it was like the months and the events of everything accumulated.
Yeah.
Dude, I really still don't know how I kept my everything together.
I don't know either.
I really don't know.
I don't know how you kept your cool.
I don't know.
I don't know what would have happened if you didn't. You had every right to flip your shit.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't.
Uh-huh.
Thank God, because I don't know what would I have done?
I don't know. Well, I knew that I had to stay strong for JB.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
And I had a mission, which was to try and fix my mess.
Yeah.
And I also knew that I had responsibility. I felt very responsible for you and for your job, your livelihood too. So I just had to keep the shit together.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel I had that massive release.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, fuck, I'm going to go find Johnette, right?
Yeah.
So hopped in the car and burned it over to the brewery. And she's there with her buddies. I think they were doing book club or something.
Yeah.
Right. And she'll probably tell it from her side of the thing. I just was over then. I was like, stop book club, basically.
Yeah.
And gave her the news. And it was just insane.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew what we'd be going through.
I was going to say this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, everyone in our lives knew what was happening.
So there was just this collective relief and happiness. It was special.
Yeah.
And of course, Johnette was just, so in tears and the relief.
I can imagine.
The happiness there.
Yeah.
And then she said, you got to go tell Sabrina.
Yeah.
And she's like, get Sabrina out.
I know, you guys called me. It was both of you. Like, I don't even know what happened. You're like screaming on the phone. I'm driving in the car and I get a call. I think I immediately knew just because of the hour. I was like, why the fuck is Rich calling me? I think it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was late.
And I was like, hello? And I don't even know what you guys said, or maybe you had sent me something, check your phone or do something. And you're like, it came back. And I was like, wait, are you serious? And they were like, yes. Like, come out. Where are you?
Yeah.
Come out now.
Come on,
and
we
I
need
was
to
like,
celebrate.
out where? And
out,
you're like,
out.
Come to the bar.
Yes.
We're going out. And I regret it. I should have. But I already had plans.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't right now. But then I think it was like the next day or a couple days later. The next day we went to Sierra Nevada.
Yes, where we generally go to celebrate some shit.
Yeah, we went to Sierra Nevada. You guys were like, we're going to the beach like tomorrow. Are you coming? And I was like, what? And then we went to St. Augustine.
Yeah.
To celebrate.
Yeah.
You guys printed out or wrote on a postie on the wall, your selling privileges have been whatever.
Yeah.
And we went to the beach.
I remember, I think we all promised ourselves and said, if we ever do get this shop back up, I think when it was looking a bit more promising, I don't know, it was like, we all have to just go away and just bloody celebrate.
The three of us hadn't been on a vacation at the same time.
Oh, no.
It was always like you guys, and then I had to stay and run the shop, or I was going and you guys were running the shop. It was like the shop was always being which we went on the vacation and we worked every morning.
Of course. I mean, we were so grateful to have the thing back. We were like, right, let's take the laptops. This is going to be a workation kind of deal. But there was, it was still, Etsy was back, but the sales, I don't think it took that long. It might have taken a day and we got our first sale. And,
we got sales again.
Yeah, very quickly. But we said, fuck it, let's go to the beach while the shop is still building back up. Let's let our hair down and just let all this out, release and have some fun, which was perfect. Perfect. Much needed. We all needed that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that been since when it came back? So June 2022.
Yeah. Almost 3 years ago.
Almost 3 years. Does it feel like that or what?
Kind of. It's weird because now at this point it's been longer. My time with you guys is longer after the event than before.
True. This is our Outfit Art Photos lore at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of our journey.
Yeah. It doesn't, I don't know. It's hard to say how it feels, especially recounting it now. It feels super fresh.
Yeah.
Also, like, what the hell have we done the past few years? It also kind of feels like we've slipped back into norms and now doing new stuff. You know, it's made us not afraid to do new things, to try new things.
Big time.
Right?
Yeah.
Just trying anything and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back at like that photo that you sent me the other day, who the hell are those people? So in that way, I'm like, oh my God, that was so long ago. And I think about, what was I doing like in my life at that time was so different. So it does feel like a long time ago, but at the same time, just
but
kind of.
Then sometimes not, yeah.
Because it kind of still feels like we're still coming back.
I know.
From that.
Yeah.
Because it was a mix of, you know, like you said, 2020 and 2021 being like our biggest years.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was leading up to a really good Christmas and then just nothing. And then we came back and we knew, you know, okay, it's going to take us a while to build back up to where we were. And it was like, we never really built back up to that. Yeah. And I think that's a mix of just the Etsy stuff. And then also it was
we're on probation.
2021. Yeah, we're on probation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you. I think as soon as the Etsy shop came back, I don't believe until today, really, I think I buried all that shit until, you know, we're recounting it like almost, you know, piece by piece, event by event there, just going back over it. And I was thinking, I'm going to have this massive trauma response. Like, you know, coming into today, I wondered how I would feel about it all.
Yeah.
But I think enough time has passed where we can talk about it now. Yeah. And not just melt into some little puddle of, you know, a trauma puddle.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I probably could have talked about it, obviously during it, way different because it's like going on and we were like pissed off. That was my feeling, my underlying feeling, I think, the whole time was just like pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just because, I felt like there was an injustice.
And like, I hate an injustice too.
Yeah. And I was just like, no one's listening.
Yeah.
Like, and just that feeling, hopelessness, pissed off. Because it felt like this isn't my fault. Yeah. You know, it was like, why are you punishing us? This isn't our fault.
And you said earlier that the punishment didn't fit the crime at all.
Yeah.
You know, I think anyone would agree to that.
Yeah. So that's changed. Like, obviously, I don't feel that anymore. I just feel now like it's a crazy story. I can't believe it happened. Almost feels like a dream.
I know.
And it definitely shifted a lot of stuff. Just I don't know. It's like, dang, we came out of that.
That's one of the takeaways, huge takeaways is we survived. Yeah. You know, even though it felt like the worst thing in the world at the time was going on. And believe you me, it was it was stressful as fuck. Yeah. You know, adding on, layering on the rest of the other stuff that was going on. And I think for me personally, I really did bury a lot of the other my mum's stuff. Right. I really just buried that. I didn't deal with it. Yeah. And I don't know if I have actually confronted all of that. And I feel for me, and I think we'll get into this in another episode. Yeah. But I think for my grief towards my mum, I think it's just been a gradual, it's not a linear journey by any means. Grief is not. It's, you know, it takes you in all sorts of different directions. One day you're good and the next you're crushed again. But I think the Etsy blackout for me gave me maybe it was a good distraction. Yeah. It's kind of 50-50 good and bad, I think. Yeah. It was like a welcomed distraction at the time. I could have done with other distractions, to be honest. Literally anything. Yeah. But it was like you had no choice but to put that much effort and energy into it. Yeah.
Like you could have just shut off and like, I can't deal. Goodbye.
I'm
kind of
checking
vibe.
out. Yeah.
Like JB. And that's honestly what I probably would have done as well.
Right.
So you could have done that, but you didn't. So then like, there was no room for both things.
No.
So it was just like, you were forced to jump that ship to this one. And then by the time, because, you know, grief is all about time, really.
Always.
So by the time the Etsy had come back and you were like, oof, okay, now I can think about it. It was like the moment had passed.
Yeah.
So then it is a weird thing of like, well, then now do I dredge it back up to like fully process? Is it even possible? Is that good that I did that? Is that bad that I did that? I could see that being tricky for sure.
Helpful in a way, but not dealing with it in another way. So I don't know. That's just what my experience. So that's how, you know, it's not, people deal with those situations in their own way, and life's weird like that.
And we also, like you said, we'll probably do another episode just all on this. We focused on the GOM, Gift of a Memory during that time a lot. And I think that was a way of channeling it.
Absolutely.
You know, because that was like full focus. You're talking about her, thinking about her a lot, sharing her story, talking to other people, connecting. So I think that was the way that you kind of shifted the grief.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And, you know, you and Jonette were very supportive for my little passion project there. Get into that another time. But what would you say, you know, a lot of, I mean, so many experiences that we went through at that time, and it was intense. Yeah. Super intense. My image in my mind right now is just, it was headless chickens.
Literally.
You know?
I wish there was like video footage of that office. Just to do a time lapse of us running around in there. Genuinely.
Yeah. But I can look back on it now. Now time has passed. Yeah. Very fondly. Yeah. Because everything worked out in the end.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, if it hadn't,
you know, geez, I don't know where we'd be, what we'd been doing. It'd be we'd all be on different paths.
I know.
Yeah.
Would I even be talking to you?
Who knows? Me and JB may have gone back to England. Right. We gave it that 6 months. Yeah. Luckily, I think we came in just shy of, or maybe we was just a little bit over. We were definitely running out of time and a bit of money there. So I don't know. You're one of these. Everything happens for a reason, isn't you? Yeah. Yeah. I'd say so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, I don't know. I think people look at that in a negative way sometimes because they think it means like, I'm glad that bad thing happened. And that's not what it means. At least that's not how I take it. We've talked about this. Yeah. Do you think? Like, am I glad the Etsy shop got shut down? No. No. But no. If it hadn't, we wouldn't be here. Exactly. So it's almost like a silver lining thing instead of like a. Yeah. I mean, our friendship wouldn't have taken off as it did had we not been through that together. Yeah. You know, I'm super grateful for your friendship and for your support during that time and all the things you know, you stood up and you stood up to be counted and you were there. So thank you. Thank you for being my mate. You're welcome. Back at you. Nice. And here we are now on a podcast. So here we are now. Look at that. I know. Crazy. Oh. I'm drained. Seriously. I'm emotionally drained after all that. Well, that's the story, guys. That is it. I think that's everything. I think so. I mean, if anything else comes up in the future, we'll add. But yeah. So we're back. We're back. Yeah. It's back. Yeah. And it's, I was going to say better than ever, but no, it's just. No. Yeah, we're back. We're grateful. Very grateful. We've got a new outlook on lots of stuff after that. And I think, just every now and again checking yourself. And I know once something's gone, once something's been taken away from you, then you realize how much maybe you took it for granted. Exactly. And you know. Don't know what you have till it's gone. Yeah, really. I mean, this was case in point on that. Yeah. And I think, maybe Jonette and I did take it for granted. Right. You know, like this will never end. And it did.
So I think maybe to wrap it up, instead of teapot, I'll just ask one question. We can each answer.
Sure.
What are the key takeaways for you from this experience?
Great question. I was just about to ask you the same. So we're on the same page there.
Okay.
I think that one I just mentioned is a key takeaway. You know, don't take things for granted. Of course, check your freaking spam folder.
Yep.
Key takeaway. Reach out to people. Perhaps Jonette and I were guilty, perhaps not, of doing that so much, trying to deal with things ourselves, or just, we were in a terrible place mentally. So
yeah, and you're probably like, no one understands.
Right. You understood because you were in it with us.
Yeah.
Friendship, friends, highly important. It puts things into perspective. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, there's tons. Yeah. I mean, just on a business level too.
Yeah.
Now I think that we can apply, transfer everything we learned, experience-wise, all those things we tried. Now that we're in a different situation right now, and we've mentioned the drop-off currently,
right?
That we can now pretty much look at things, ideas now, and we have a better understanding of what might work, what might not. So that really helped.
Yeah.
Applying it to now. Plus resilience.
Right.
Never giving up.
Right. Like, yeah, looking back, like, holy shit, we did that.
Yeah. And if we got through that.
Exactly.
I mean, we can pretty much get through anything.
Yeah.
Once you hit that low.
I think, hold on. Eat your butt away. It's been a while since you've been stirring up trouble in here, Gertrude. In the business and personal sense, I think a big takeaway is also don't be afraid to try things. Like step outside of your bubble and your schedule and the norms.
Yeah.
Because we were forced to, like you said, we were in our, like what we knew best, our flow of the everyday stuff. And then we were forced to kind of throw everything out and start fresh. Yeah. And we're like, oh, that's a thing that you can do. There's no rules really. Like I can do that. Yes. Which now, like I said earlier, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And it's not scary. We're just like, oh, like before I think we were like, no. We got to stay in our little, what works and our little algorithms in the Etsy world and all this stuff. And now we're like, nah, let's just try this. Let's try this. Let's try this.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly, because now we know the worst that can happen. Like we've experienced the worst, which is the shop goes away.
Yeah,
we have no shop. So now, anything other than that is like nothing.
Yeah. It does. Experiences that perhaps don't seem. It makes everything else after that seem that you can cope with it and manage with it because you've experienced worse.
Yeah.
And so now, even though there is a drop off, I know, just because of our mindset and experience that we can draw on, that we'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's your takeaways.
There it is. That's it. We're done. Call it.
Got it. No teapots.
No teapots. That was enough, I think.
Yeah. Time for a beer.
Time for 6 beers. Sierra Nevada. Here we come.
Oh, the weather's supposed to be picking up very soon. Even like the weekend, I think, is supposed to be nice. Saturday's supposed to be nice. Next week is supposed to be nice. So I'm just pitching this idea, like some kind of Sierra Nevada.
Yeah. I mean, weren't they supposed to have their birthday thing or whatever that was?
Anniversary. Yeah.
That already happened?
I don't know. We can look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't even know what to say. So much. My brain's dead.
Yes, I know.
That was the story. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all she wrote. We're going to wrap it up here. It's always the hard part. I never know just how to end it.
So good at it.
I know. I never know how to just be like, okay, now bye. Like it feels abrupt. Okay. Well, thanks for listening this week, guys. I know this was a bit of a longer kind of heavier, maybe not heavy, but just more involved episode.
Yeah. It's a lot more of our backstory, which, Now
I feel like you guys know us a little bit better now.
Yeah, and I feel that we've put ourselves out there a bit more.
I feel like it helps like perspective a bit as well. Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a nice bit of therapy.
That's right. All All right. Well, as always, you can listen anywhere you get your podcasts. You can rate, review, subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Tea and Toasties Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube at Tea and Toasties. And we'll talk at you next week.
Yeah, talk at you next week. And
TTFN.
Later.
Bye-bye.